Okay, today I'm going to show you how to turn on the sound system here at the church. One thing that's important to remember when turning on the sound system is you always want to turn on the board or the sources first, then turn on the speakers last. If you do it the other way, then you'll get a popping sound when you apply power to your source or the board, and it will could potentially damage the speakers. So you always want to do the source or the board first, then the speakers. I'll show you how to get that all going real quickly. It's really easy. Okay, now to turn on the board itself, there are actually two switches on the board on the back side, kind of like here. Now this is our 16-channel board, so it's slightly different, but the switches are exactly the same. They're just in the top left corner up here, as opposed to down more in kind of this area down below. But basically, you have the big switch here, and to turn the board on, you click power on. And then this other switch is for the phantom power. Now that's what gives the DI boxes its power. So if you're ever not able to get the drum set up and going, or the keyboards, or you look and you check the DI boxes and they don't have any lights on them or anything like that, they're all dark, check the phantom power, make sure it's on as well. So you want to turn the power on and the phantom power on. Now again, on the 24-channel board, which is the board we use, it's actually on the same side but more in the lower corner, so it'd be kind of more like down at the bottom, but in the same side as that, and I'll show you that when we get to the board. Okay, I'm at the 24-channel board, and I'm going to go turn it on. So basically down back, kind of behind in the lower part, kind of toward the bottom, there are the two switches I feel for, and I turn them on, and that turns on the board like so. So now the board's on, and we're ready to turn on the speakers. Okay, now to turn on the speakers, all I need to do is turn on both subwoofers. This is the back of the subwoofer, and you can kind of see, if you look right here, there's an on switch, and that turns it on, and it's all ready to go. A couple other things you want to check with that to make sure it's all correct is you want to make sure that the power light is on, that the thermal light is off, that the subwoofer level is set to normal, and that the phase is set to normal or at the bottom. Now the first subwoofer basically gets the full range input from the board, it's channel A, and then it sends out from the parallel through output, it sends the signal to the other subwoofer. And the last subwoofer sends only the high pass output to the first main speaker. So this is the first subwoofer, and it ties them together, and then this is what you plug in the main speaker into once you've got that going. We run mono, so it's not stereo, so we only have to do one side, and we do everything with the left. And so this is how the other subwoofer is wired. This full range input comes from the other subwoofer, and then the high pass output goes up to the first main speaker, and then we turn this one on, and the red green light says it's all ready to go. Make sure the thermal is off, otherwise it's too hot. Phase is normal, and the subwoofer level is set to normal as well, which is right at noon. Okay, so that's the first main speaker that comes directly from the last subwoofer, and it's already set up, so all you should have to do is make sure it's turned on and run a signal to it. Now it's set to the time turn off, so after 3 minutes of no sound running through the sound system, those will just shut off automatically, so you don't have to worry about turning them off. And to turn them on again, all you should have to do is turn on the subwoofers and then run some type of signal, and they will automatically turn on. Now if for some reason they won't turn on, they're powered by the switch in the closet. So you just want to go in and make sure that that switch is in the up position, and then it should turn on automatically once you run some sound through it. That's the last main speaker, and it's the last in the chain. And again, it should also turn on if both the subwoofers are on and the first main speaker is on. This one also should automatically turn on once you run some signal through it. Again, it has the time turn off, so after 3 minutes of no sound, it will shut off on its own. But all you have to do to turn it on again is run sound through the sound system. A microphone, a CD, anything, it doesn't really matter. The switch for it is behind the cabinet, you know, this cabinet here. So we'll show you where that is. So back here, back by the closet doors, we have a switch. It's this switch right here. That powers the last main speaker, and as long as it's in that position, again, when you put signal through it, it should turn right on. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you real quick is what are the settings on the speakers. These are for full floor monitors. We have the level set to line, or at 9 o'clock. The low cut should be pushed in. The contour should be out. The on button should be on, of course. And the time turn off should be in or on. And then that will, that will basically is the proper setup for a monitor. This is the input. And then if you're going to the next speaker or down in the chain, you're going to connect the XLR cable to here. So that's the basic setup of the speakers. The only difference between the monitors and the mains is the mains should have the low cut turned off, because we have the low cut turned on for floor monitors so they don't have as much bass, and so that keeps the rumble from kicking back into the crowd, and just helps it sound a little bit better for a monitor, for a floor monitor.